All right, everybody. Hello, Kaizen. Welcome to a afternoon or evening if you're joining from EU for some Overwatch action. Now, I will let everybody know that although we are streaming live, this match actually has already been played. However, Rain, thankfully, has not looked at anything in the Discord server, so I have absolutely no idea how this Tier 2 Mixed Grand Finals match turns out. We have Whiskin It versus Space Jam. Now, of course, because this is the grand finals, that does mean that this is going to be a best of 7. So it's going to be the first team to reach those 4 map wins. I get to take home the victory and the title of the Tier 2 Mixed Grand Finals. Now, a fun little um, incident with match tickets unfortunately means that we aren't really quite sure what the hero bans were for any of these maps. So we're just going to use our imagination, and we'll just take a look at whatever they are playing and just take it at face value. But I think that we are pretty much ready to go here. Once again, this is a match that has already been played, but I have not seen it. Hopefully, some of you have not seen it. Maybe some of you don't even know how it turned out, and you're in the same boat as me. But yeah, we're gonna get going here. Yep. So we are, of course, going to be starting on Oasis, our first control map of the series. This was a predetermined map here. We're gonna have Whiskin It over on the blue side, Space Jam over here on the red side, looking like they want to roll out on Amalga composition. Light is going to swap over onto that sim just to get a little TP out. It's the Reaper Genji on the side of Space Jam. Meanwhile, Whisking It going for this Orisa. Cosmo on the Wu Yang as well. So the Wu Yang Kiriko backline very, very strong. There's going to be a whole lot of poke damage that is going to be coming in from this Whisking It team. We can see that they've already got themselves set up on the high ground. Nice little advantage here as Space Jam are forced to kind of push in. It's the stomp in from Ons. Ooh, not going to be enough to find the first kill, though. That one's going to go the way of Axar, and there's another kill coming through for Whisking It, and it's pretty much just cleaned up now. Point has opened. And that is going to be Whisking It grabbing this first percentage here and grabbing a nice little team kill to go along with that. Right away, we're going to see a swap on the side of Space Jam. Haku over on to the Wu Yang of their own. On's gonna go over onto the Zarya here. So trying to counter out this Orisa, you are gonna, of course, be able to beam through that spin from Carlson. So you're gonna be able to basically just ignore that. Space Jam putting some pressure on the point. Actually gonna go ahead and grab that flip for free. Whiskin It did not want to give up that high ground, and now just kind of shoved into a corner here, and Light on the Reaper finds 2, looking for a third one as well, forces the TP out, and the DPS from Space Jam as they go ahead, pick up a team kill of their own. 25% here, not a whole lot gained, but it's a little something as Space Jam is going to be able to walk this percentage past that and grab the lead. Arc is coming in here with that bowl. Actually, a lot of ultimates side of Whisking It. Cosmo with that tidal blast very shortly as well. Evolution on the side of Space Jam really needs to try to build up to this coalescence. That's the first ult that's going to be alive for them. Whoa, Coulson falling very low. And yeah, we can see just how that Zarya can counter out that Orisa. Coulson taken down, and it's not looking good for Whisking It to try and push in. Still not in control of this point. Suguru doing a good job holding that high ground. And oh, yeah, Suguru going to pick up the late kill onto Axar as well. However, Evolution got a little bit too greedy there. Gotta be really careful about pushing too far forward when you're against this Freya, as Coulson's actually going to pick up that kill onto Suguru as well. So now looking like Whisking It. The numbers advantage. They just have to push forward here. Light hiding in a corner. Oz, this Reaper. Grab in, plus the Blossom. Absolutely incredible. Haku throws in that tidal blast just for good measure as well. And unfortunately for Whisking It, I mean, you're sent back to the spawn. You at least don't commit anything. Coulson has swapped over onto this Zarya off of that Orisa. So we'll see what that's going to be able to get done here. You have this blade from Suguru still ready to go, but Axar has a blade to work with as well. Gonna have to see who they go for. Usually we'd see this Tidal Blast from Haku maybe used defensively. All right, there's both ultimates from the side of Space Jam thrown out. The Blade picks up one. As Axar gonna go ahead, throw to Blade as well. Only picks up Evolution, but it's just a little bit too late. The overtime now draining down as the team kill comes through. Space Jam getting this first sub point here of Gardens on Oasis. Not too bad. Like to get the momentum going in your favor for sure. And some really nice adjustments on the side of Space Jam to be able to find that, right? Seeing on swap off of that Malga, go over onto the Zarya. I mean, that's a great swap because you actually force Coulson off of the Orisa as well. So heads up play there from Space Jam. I think this DPS duo for them, putting in a lot of work as well. We're definitely seeing Reaper get a lot more playtime. Genji as well. No longer just confined to being the Nano Blade. Now free to play on their own. Maybe some swaps coming in from Whiskin at Coulson. Yeah, moving over onto the Diva. Cosmore is actually going to move over onto the Kiriko as well, so it's the Kiriko Juno backline for the side of Whiskin. Gonna have to be really careful. A lot of poke damage that can come in when you're against this Wu Yang, and not having one of your own can sometimes be detrimental. I'm anticipating we had a Lucio ban here, but again, we don't know. Just speculating. All right, objective here on City Center has opened up. Coulson on this Diva is having a very, very hard time. Actually, is going to get demeched there. On's on this. Sorry, yeah. You're going to burn through the Orisa. You're going to burn through the Diva as well. And there we go. Kills all going the way of Space Jam. Just one last one there for Light Spaghetti. Looking for maybe a third in the kill feed. And I mean, unfortunately, Arc is kind of just getting staggered out there. Actually, he's going to end up taking themselves down, but bringing Suguru down with them. Gonna be hard for Whiskin to really capitalize on that, though. The Genji's gonna get back into this fight pretty quickly. And I mean, Arc gonna get back in the fight as well. Has that Bola nearly ready to go. Not a whole lot, actually, for the side of Space Jam. They just won these fights out so quickly. Are looking, trying to take down Haku on this Wu Yang. You gotta force out that kind of Guardian or the shift from the Wu Yang. Oh, Coulson, unfortunately, once both bubbles go down, that's the Zarya falling, but there is a trade that comes out. Haku does get found out by Axar. Axar gonna pick up Evolution as well, so now Space Jam, they have no backline, but it just doesn't matter because the DPS are just absolutely flooding forward, finding the kills that they need. Somehow Arc still alive through all of that. Has this Bola ready to go. But now Space Jam have taken some longer fights, built up some ultimates of their own. That Coalescence going to be online, that Blossom as well from Light. Now Coulson has swapped off of the Diva over onto the Zarya now, which actually could be really nice here for Light on this Reaper, because the Blossom, it's really easy for the Diva to eat it up. It's going to be a little bit harder for Coulson on this Zarya to kind of deny that. Already a bubble is gone here. Coalescence going to be the first ultimate used. It is going to be 2 in response here. Everything just being thrown at this, but the point, oh, still in the favor of Space Jam. Some trades going back and forth. Bagel actually finding a 2K there, but you need to touch now if you're whisking it. Some feet are on the point. Overtime has been triggered. A whole lot of charge here for Coulson, but you're up against a Graviton Surge. Ons throws it out. Catches 2. Gonna take down that Kiriko first. Gets the Tidal Blast just as an insurance policy. And oh, there's not much a lonely Juno can do against an entire team of Space Jam. Blade ready to go, but it doesn't last long. Axar taken down by that dash. And the Wraith form used with just a sliver of HP is Arc going to fall. And that is it. We see the win come through there for Space Jam. Hello. All right. Welcome back. Well, we had a quick little break there as we saw in the first map Space Jam taking the win on Oasis 2-0 fashion. Still a decent amount of kind of back and forth there as Whiskin It putting up a little bit of a fight. But on to the second map, it is going to be Whiskin It that got to pick where we go in. They have taken us to, of course, King's Row, the hybrid extraordinaire map. And if you're just joining or tuning in, this is a match that has already been played. So we are doing kind of a post recording here. Rain does not know how it ends. I have absolutely no idea who wins this. Unfortunately, I also have absolutely no idea what any of the hero bans were. So just keep that in mind that in all of these maps, there have been 4 heroes that have been banned out. Hey, maybe you can have a little fun. Take a guess in the chat. What heroes you think were banned? I feel like Lucio was banned on map 1. Lucio's definitely not banned in map 2 here, so that's maybe working in my favor. But map 2, we are ready to go. It's Whiskin It versus Space Jam here in the Tier 2 Mixed Finals. All right, taking a look here. So, Whiskin It is going to be on that defense, the blue team here. Space Jam starting out on the attack. Light Spaghetti taking a little look. See on the Widowmaker. Not only useful for getting a little bit of scouting in, but maybe you get to hit an opening pick, which would be really, really big here, but maybe not going to do it. Whisking It on the defense. It is Cosmore over on the tank now. So we saw Cosmo over on the support last time. Sorry, the Tracer lurking in the cinema. Just getting a little bit of information there as Space Jam looked to push forward on zero back over on this Mauga. So we saw this on the first map very briefly, did end up swapping off once it wasn't working too well. So Lucio Kiriko backlines for both of these teams. So a little bit more comfortable here. Cosmo, we're absolutely burning and demeched almost right away. Going to be finished off by that disruptor field from Light Spaghetti. Nice job here from Axar trying to put some pressure on the Sojourn, but meanwhile, I mean, the rest of their team is just absolutely falling. Not okay, is going to be able to get that kill. Both DPS now gone for Space Jam, but that spawn is going to be a whole lot closer for the attacking team. Already 2 ticks on the board. Collis Mower looking like maybe he wants to come in for a contest. Is going to manage to get a foot on the point. A lot of damage being done to this diva, though. You can hear all those critical shots coming in from On Zero. Is not only do you have the giant head hitbox, but you also got a giant burning tank. Malka is absolutely having a field day, tearing apart. Light Spaghetti also tearing apart as Carlson gonna fall, and that's first point picked up by Space Jam here, getting a few stagger kills in as well. Bagel gonna be sent back to the spawn, and yeah, a little bit of mercy shown for Axar there, as well as the traits are also sent back. All right, point now moving here. 85% on the beat for Evolution. Otherwise, you're just waiting for these DPS ultimates to kind of come online. Cosmore has swapped over onto the Orisa. Arc on the Hanzo as well. Nice spear there. Cosmore going to take out Light Spaghetti. So that means you're not going to be able to build up to this overclock in this fight at least. But Whiskin's gonna need a little bit more if they want to put a stop to this payload. You need to either commit an ultimate here or you need to find a second kill. Okay, you try and split off the Malga. It's the stomp in and the shout. On's gonna be able to stay alive through that. Ultimate's ready to go here. Haku's going to be the first to throw it in. It's a Kitsune rush down the point. Bagel uses the beat in response, does connect on to 3 and helps find that kill onto Suguru. But Haku immediately answering back. We see that Dragon's actually canceling out the cage here from On Zero. And just like that, Whiskin It really taking control of that fight. Give some ultimates there, but Carlson holds on to the Kitsune rush. And that's actually both support ultimates and the cage that come out from Space Jam. So now it's just these DPS ultimates now. I said it in the first map. Suguru and Light Spaghetti definitely putting work in on these DPS heroes. And well, with Bagel using that beat, you don't really have anything in response to either of these ultimates. You know, you can use the speed to kind of try and kite out, or use this Kitsune rush, try to go first, and that's exactly what Whiskin It opt to do. They find the kills pretty much right away. Really, really great timing from Carlson there. Not allowing Space Jam to even really get a foot towards that point. And now Cosmore's gone ahead, built up to this Terra Surge. Not traditionally kind of a defensive ultimate, but it definitely can be good to kind of negate the effects of the Dragon Blade. You just have everybody kind of play around it. Arc finding the log onto Haku. Just burning time off the clock here. And this is where Hanzo's going to really shine, is in these kind of streets phases of these hybrid maps. King's Row has so many long sightlines and such a hard choke point that Space Jam has to walk through, that when you have all this spam damage, eventually you are going to find a kill. And well, okay, Space Jam kind of reading that, looking to try and rotate away from this choke point. Everybody pushing to the side here. It's the engage in from On. Suguru's gonna come in with the blade as well. Finds the kill onto Carlson. Pulse bomb sticks. Ooh, nice Suzu. But it actually it doesn't save them, as I think the Suzu just made the pulse bomb drop to the floor and then it exploded anyways. So Oxar getting a nice value with that. Knows that there is a Genji lurking here. A lot of respect being shown for this Genji. Oxar does not want to be the late kill in this fight, but would really love to stagger out Suguru if possible. Bagel trying to make it happen as well, but it will be the Genji for Space Jam, finding their way out of the fight alive. One piece. Arkiro has this Dragon Strike ready. Again, really impactful on this point. Maybe wait to try and combo it with something, or just wait for some of these movement cooldowns to come out, right? You see the slide come out from the Sojourn. Bagel gets a little bit too aggressive there. Cosmore now kind of stock out in no man's land, and Ons is going to punish that, but Arkiro good for two. Has to back up, though. Doesn't have the tank presence available to really put a contest on this point. All you can do is just kind of back up, get a little bit more space, wait to re-engage with this Dragon Strike. Okay, Oxar finding Suguru is good pick here, especially because Cosmore's back into the fight now. Tracer is, or Genji is going to get back into the fight. Tracer's also going to be able to get back into the fight really quickly. So now it just comes down to who's going to use this ult first. Light Spaghetti has this overclock ready to go. Just needs a little bit of space to work with. All right, it's the slide up and in. Fortified Orisa right in your face. Gonna make it really hard to find any of those squishy targets, but On's doing a really good job on this Malga, making some space of his own to work with. That Sonic Arrow dome shot actually does come through, hits Light Spaghetti, but the rest of Space Jam really putting in the work here. Suguru's still alive, still doing damage, finding the kills. Slam through from Ons as well. And even though you lose Haku there late, it's going to matter as the second point is picked up here by Space Jam. Didn't have to commit any ultimates there, just pure timing. Well, you use the overclock, but otherwise you have 4 ultimates to work with. We did see that the Dragon Strike from Arc was used in response to the cage from On Zero, so I anticipate that that might be what Arc is trying to save this for. It's too bad. I feel that the Dragon Strike definitely could have been really impactful on Streets phase, but hey, you have this combo in mind. You're going to look for it. All right, Kitsune Rush in from Coulson as well is going to be responded to with a cage and a blade. It's the blender happening on the point, and there is not a heck of a lot that Whiskin can do to negate that. Kitsune Rush, the only ultimate committed there, so you still have this Terra Surge, you still have this Dragon Strike. Nice little combo to maybe use there. Now it's sub 60 seconds on the board here. Space Jam trying to finish this with some time in the bank. It's a beat from Bagel that comes out, connects onto 5. Everybody's pushing forward. Sugru looking, maybe finding a back cap, but it's too late. Everybody from the side of Whiskin and walk forward. Oh my gosh, no. Arc taken down by the deflect kill, but it's okay because everybody else from Whiskin is finding the kills. Now, some 30 seconds here. Whiskin have done a good job to hold on to some of these crucial ultimates, right? The nice combo is ready to go, but Haku does have this Kitsune Rush to work with. Light Spaghetti is over on the Cassidy now as well, so you're going to be able to put in a whole lot more consistent damage compared to that Sojourn, where you have a little bit more of a higher peak, but it takes a little bit longer to get there. It's going to be the Dragon in from Arc, looking for a Pulse Bomb here, finds the stick, but I think Haku actually died before that went off, but there is no touch from Space Jam. That is it, just before that third point. It will be Whiskin and holding Okay, not too bad. I mean, it was looking a little shaky there, right? First point, really didn't go the Whisking its way, but stabilize on the second point, which where Hanzo arguably going to be a little bit more impactful, and you have Coulson swapping over onto that Arisa as well. The diva just hasn't really been working out because it's a lot of Azaria Mauga that's it's being played by Space Jam here. But let's see what we are going to get on the attack here from Whiskin. Oh yes, Cosmo is on the tank. Yes, Cosmo over to the other side. But looking, well, yeah, pretty similar here on the attack. Interesting defense here with on starting on the Mauga. Um, don't always see the Mauga played on the defense as much. You have to play it fairly aggressively. Um, You can't really just like wait for Whiskin to take the fight to you if you're playing this Mauga. So that's why some teams don't really opt to play it on the defense. It's because you're gonna have to walk forward, use your cooldowns first, and that can put you in a really tricky position as Mauga. Do have that Genji Tracer DPS lineup for the side of Space Jam though. This double flex DPS very, very strong right now. So much mobility, so much survivability. And that's honestly the name of the game right now. That's why we're seeing a lot of Kiri Lucio Axer, though. Okay, I'm hyping up the survivability. A bonk in the head will send Suguru back to the spawn as Arc is on this Widow here, which good timing, honestly. A lot of space has already been made here. Cosmo is over on the Hazard. Venomine does trigger. Arc is in a little bit of a tricky spot here, kind of down on this low ground, which means it's going to be easy for the Tracer to kind of put some pressure on, but the rest of Whiskin is playing fairly close, making it really hard to kind of walk through. Ooh, Light Spaghetti, though, finding the better of Axar in the Tracer duel. Very, very dangerous here for Whiskin. And yeah, as soon as that kill comes through, it is W key all the way towards the spawn here. Space Jam finding the kill onto Bagel for late kill onto Coulson as well. And Cosmo will manage to stay alive on this Hazard. Not a tick on the board just yet. Both Tracers. The closest to those ultimates. Pulse Bomb's going to be on very, very soon. Axar has done a pretty good job finding these Pulse Bomb sticks, but Haku has done an equally good job of kind of being there with the Suzu. All right, pressure being put on the point here. Cosmore trying to just ignore that Mauga, go for the Lucio. Yeah, basically chases that Lucio out, and then Bagel able to finish that kill off. But as soon as your Hazard goes in for that engagement, that's when Space Jam recognizes, okay, that's a big HP pool now gone, goes in, finds the kills onto the squishies, and the trade's just not fast enough for Whisking it there. Arc is going to move over onto the Cassidy here. A very common swap to try and deal with this double flex DPS. When you have two flankers, you either want to have one of your own DPS kind of contesting. We're seeing the Tracer v Tracer matchup a lot, but if that's not working out, that's when you got to just go for kind of this counter flank. See the Cassidy making an appearance. Pulse Bomb ready to go here from Axar. There's the Suzu. Is that what they were waiting for? Maybe. Yes, it is. Sticks onto the Mauga. Does a whole lot of damage, but does not find the kill. However, can't see the same for poor Bagel and Arc, who have been sent back to the spawn here. Everybody on the side of Space Jam falling very, very low, but you have a cage to try and keep you alive through this, and that's going to be another fight win coming through here for Space Jam. No, not even quite one tick there. Unfortunate for Whisking it. Commit the Pulse Bomb there. You have built up to a Kitsune Rush. Haku used theirs in that last one, so you aren't going to have that kind of dueling Kitsune Rushes, but this Blade from Suguru going to be very dangerous. Bagel needs to build up this beat very, very quickly. You're going to have the beat on the side of Evolution as well. All right, here's the Blade in from Suguru, and straight for Bagel. Knows that that beat is either online or about to be. Takes down that Lucio. Light Spaghetti finding some cleanup kills as well. And once again, the DPS for the side of Space Jam just tearing Whiskin it apart. However, crucially now, both support ults ready to go here for Whiskin. You really just need to get kind of one fight in here, get a clean team kill, and you can at least get 2 ticks on the board. But something tells me the Space Jam team is not going to make that easy. Here is the Kitsune Rush in, beat in response. Evolution hits all 5 members from the side of Space Jam. It's just a brawl happening on the point here. Kitsune Rush is layered on top of each other. Here's the Terra Surge on the point. Doesn't quite find anything though. Everybody from the side of Space Jam able to just kind of split away from it. Haku does get caught out, but Coulson also gone. So Kiriko's gone from both sides. Pulse Bomb hits the floor. Quite do any damage as Suguru cleaning up Cosmore. And although Light Spaghetti very low, has a recall, able to stay alive and over time burning down here. And Whiskin it is just not going to be able to get back onto this point fast enough to swap over onto the Diva just to try and get a touch. Will actually manage to get that, but immediately burned out, sent from the mech, and there we go. Team kill to wrap up map 2. Space Jam, second map collected, and yeah, it's pre-recorded, so we are right on to the third map here. And again, this is going to be Whiskin its map pick. So they have taken us over to Havana. We're getting a Sigma match up here. We actually are going to have Whiskin it over on the attack now on the red team. Nice stun coming out. Interesting backlines, right? We're seeing the Kiriko Wu Yang kind of backline coming out from Space Jam versus this Iyari Baptiste. So the Iyari A is going to be able to do a significant amount of damage, but you're not going to have kind of the same impact that the Wu Yang has utility-wise. Going to be a lot of pressure on Bagel on this Baptiste to keep Cosmore alive, and unfortunately Cosmore is sent back to the spawn there. Does manage to get out alive with a little bit of help from Coulson on the Yari there. Mango already built up to this Gravitic Flux. Haku gonna have the Kitsune Rush ready to go as well. Actually, On's Zero is now the one over on the Wu Yang off of that tank roll. Razzie finds the better of Arc on the Sojourn, and unfortunately for Whiskin it, that means you're just not really going to be able to push forward. The Gravitic Flux from Mango whiffs a little bit, but you're still holding a whole lot of space here. Support ults are ready to go. Dynamite from XR connects. Nearly has this Bob ready to go, but it's a Tidal Blast onto Mango. Does find a stun onto Cosmore. That's going to prompt the Bob to come out. Nice little angle gained here from the Bob. Going to throw in the window as well. Bagel, although Bob isn't quite going to be shooting through it, is going to be able to use that window to keep everybody healed up on the side of Whiskin it. And that is exactly what Whiskin it needed to crack through that first corner. But on Zero on this Wu Yang still lurking around here. There is the potential for a touch here from the side of Space Jam. Haku has this Kitsune Rush ready to go. Touch comes through courtesy of Suguru. Razzie has come back into the fight, has the overclock ready to go. Not quite finding anything, but doing some damage. Enough damage that it is going to allow the rest of Space Jam to find some kills. Haku out of the fight now. Ooh, Razzie slide onto the cart, and that puts you in prime position to be taken down. Cosmore finds a couple of kills and secures this first point for Whiskin it. They're pushing forward, looking to maybe find something else. You'd love to get a stagger kill here if you're Whiskin it. The very least, though, taking a lot of space here. Gonna be able to hold very close. You have this Gravitic Flex. You have the Sun as well from Coulson ready to go. A really nice combo, especially in these small corridors. You just have to be careful. Mango on this Sigma. Either the shield or the kinetic grasp could both deny that Sun from Coulson. Nice lamp there. Not going to be enough to keep Cosmore alive, unfortunately. Razzie going to find that charged railgun. Looking for a little bit more here. Space Jam pushing forward. Trying to get some more kills, and they will find just that. Good amount of progress here, but unfortunately for the side of Whiskin it, you are going to be stalled out, and now Space Jam get to set themselves up on this high ground. Another Gravitic Flux nearly ready to go here for Mango. And a Tidal Blast. Suguru on the Soldier 76 finds that pick onto Arc. The ults are there for Whiskin it. They just are not having a good time trying to find their way into these fights. So much poke damage from the side of Space Jam. Every choke point that you walk through, you are taking so much damage. So many cooldowns are being forced out before you can even get close enough to really get value. All right, here we go. It's going to be the Sun in. Does connect on to Suguru, who does a great job just kind of hiding. And actually, yeah, no kills are going to come through for that. In fact, Actually, Bagel that's going to be taken down. No Baptiste on the field. That means you're not going to have this window and you're not going to have the lamp. You're going to get out of jail free cards. You got to be really, really careful if you're whisking it now. Title Blast from On Zero goes over on to On Zero. Ooh, maybe bit off a bit more than they could chew, though. Didn't find any kills or knockdowns with that and does end up getting taken down by Razzie. Up where On Zero left off, and Suguru gonna find one as well. A little bit more progress being made on the point, though. Haku has used this Kitsune Rush towards the point. Arc has this overclock ready to go. Providing some really nice cover here for Carlson on this Yari, who's actually very, very low right now. Is going to get out, but that means that Cosmore and unfortunately is going to end up falling there. Ooh, okay, finds the kill onto Mango. That's really big here because now you are going to have Cosmore get back into this fight a little bit quicker, but you got to start moving now. Cosmore is actually going to swap over onto the Reinhardt here. Sick of all this poke damage. Wants to swap over onto the Brawl and just ignore it altogether. Don't have the speed to work with, though, so you aren't going to have any Lucio or Juno, so it's going to be about really positioning here. Nice catch out. Haku and Razzie falling. Now it's all about getting some progress on this card. I mean, somebody from Whiskin needs to get on the point. Visor has been committed, as was the Gravitic Flux, and it looks like Space Jam want to shut this fight down here and now. Despite being down in numbers to start there, they have the ultimates. They time it really well. Whiskin it's still playing close on this high ground, though. They don't want to give up too much space. Finally, some progress being made on the card. A little bit of presence. But it's just Cosmore. Cosmore is off on his own on the side. He's going to get some backup from his team. And yes, okay, Whiskin looking to take the high ground here. Window has been committed, but Bagel is taken out as soon as they use it. You're not going to be able to get the heals in through there, but Arc going to see what they can do with this overclock. He's going to pick up that kill onto On Zero. Cosmore out of the fight, though. It does mean that you don't have a tank. Bob taken down as well. That's your secondary tank now gone. Sun ready to go here from Carlson. Isn't going to find its intended target, but enough damage in from Axar does find Razzie. Cosmore on the point, trying to do what he can, but does not have any help aside from Bagel still alive. Actually does manage to take out Mango. The lamp has been expended as well. It's just a brawl on the point. Cosmore's doing his absolute best to just stay alive. It's him versus two supports here, but oh, there's the title blast. Is once again going to be committed onto On Zero, straight in on the Bagel. Not a whole lot you can do against that ultimate. Knockdown onto the floor. There's basically no shield here for Cosmore. Mango actually has swapped over onto the Doomfist just for the touch, potentially. Ooh, that overtime, it's going to burn down so quickly. Cosmore needs to stay on this point. He's been here forever, but there's just nothing left. Is going to be taken down, and the rest of Whiskin going to fall immediately after. Just shy of that second point. Space Jam are going to shut down that attack and set themselves a very clear win condition. They would love to get this map win, put themselves at a match point, because of course this is a best of 7, which means it's the first to reach 4 that will claim the Tier 2 Mixed Grand Finals champion role. And so far, Space Jam looking pretty good to make that happen. We will see what they opt for on their attack. The Sigma look pretty good. Fun to see the Soldier 76 make an appearance as well. Yep, it is going to be that exact same composition on the attack, most likely. For the defense here, Cosmore is going to go ahead and just start on the Reinhardt. Not interested in taking that Sigma duel. Arc over on the Reaper as well. some sneakiness happening here. Whisking it, thinking they want to take a close hold. I like it. Don't often see it like without the Mei. I feel like the walls are really impactful for these close holds. And the Cassidy's more of kind of a mid-range, but it's okay. Let's see what they can get done. It is going to be the Reaper TP in. And here we go. It's the close hold. Cosmore gets hit with the rock right away. But doing a good job just stuffing everybody in this spawn. Now it's about scouting which door are they gonna come out, as Mango's actually gonna swap over onto the Reinhardt, take this duel, at least for the first point here. Oh, so low. Cosmore immediately, oh, gets melted down, and that's pretty much gonna be the end of your spawn hold here. The rest of Whiskin it just gonna need to die on the payload. That's exactly what they'll do. All right, you get a little revenge kill onto Mango, who is gonna stick on this Reinhardt. All right, so we are gonna get some more Reinhardt here on Havana. Now, the nice thing about doing this spawn hold is, of course, Whiskin it is going to get another fight for sure here. Like they want to rotate up to this high ground. I don't know if they are. Well, they're definitely aware now that Suguru is up here on this soldier. I like this from Whiskin it. You really need to clear this soldier out. Okay, you're actually going to just find a kill onto Haku as well. You'll take that for just trying to make some space. He has this Deadeye nearly ready to go. Axar now in control of this high ground. Oh, drop down. Not even needed. Nice shots connecting onto On Zero there. And just like that, it's gonna be Whisking it back in control here. Do they go for another spawn hold? Well, yes, they do. Looks like we are right back at the doors here. Mango is gonna swap off the Reinhardt, go over onto the Orisa. Okay, yeah. Deadeye ready to go here from Axar. Cosmore is building up to this Shatter as well. It's gonna take just a little bit longer, but you definitely want to try and maybe commit one of these ultimates if you're gonna hold close here. On the side of Space Jam, though, building up some ultimates of their own. That visor could be very impactful, but it's going to be really hard to kind of use unless you get some space out of this spawn. It's not going to be kind of a push through a spawn hold. Oh, Shatter connects onto 3, but Cosmore isn't able to stay alive to do the follow-up damage onto it. Actually, nobody going to die on the side of Space Jam despite that 3-person Shatter. Suguru finding the kill on Axar, and once again, once your Reinhardt falls, it's basically okay. Arc Hero just wants to absolutely prove me wrong. Finds a team kill, a 5k coming through for the Reaper on the side of Whiskin it. He's gonna get out alive as well, despite Cosmore falling first in that fight. The ult's committed and it works in the favor of Whiskin it, really making a stand here on Havana first point. Now you still got these 2 support ultimates. You got the Deadeye ready to go, but here we go. It's the Tidal Blast to start things out. It is going to be over onto the Genji as well. So much mobility. Yeah, the stun on Axar, and then the follow-up kill. No, Cosmore does take out Razzie as the Kitsune rushes have been layered on point here as the trade's coming through for both sides, but Mango still alive. The tank for the side of Space Jam, and going to be the payload moving forward. Another contest probably in the books here for Whiskin, though. But I mean, you're doing a recontest into a Terra Surge, into an Overclock. I mean, Mango can just Terra Surge you on the point, and Razzie can sit back off the point and just Overclock in. All right, it's the Terra Surge in. Nice speed from Bagel, does find all 5, but the damage is just too much. It cuts through the beat, kills Axar. And although it was a backline trade that was attempted here, Cosmore on this Reinhardt kind of pushing forward aggressively, it does not stop the contest from coming through. And there we go. First point picked up by Space Jam. And they're going to start walking on forward. No ultimates just yet. Suru is definitely going to be able to get this blade online, though. Now, Cosmore has the Shatter, and we saw a really good Shatter come through last time. Just has to be very, very cognizant of the HP, right? Because you really want to be able to have enough HP that you can get those fire strikes in on your shattered targets. We didn't see that last time, so hopefully can find the connection this time. Looks like a little bit of a cheeky rotation coming in here for Whiskin. It is going to rotate down towards the point. Forcing a fight on the point is exactly what the Reinhardt Reaper composition wants to do. They find On Zero on this Wu Yang. Gonna find Haku as well, so now there's no support for the side of Space Jam. No ultimate's going to be committed from Space Jam. No Suguru is going to hold on to that beat for the next one. And I mean, hey, actually, no ultimate's committed from the side of Whiskin it either. And that's really, really big. You just outplay and win the fight just with positional advantage. So I really like that. I like that play. Forcing the cart. Worked out very well for them. Now they're gonna get themselves set up on this high ground. Again, this Shatter is ready to go. And Arc is gonna have the Blossom ready to go as well. I don't know how sneaky you are. I'm assuming that Space Jam's probably aware that they're here. Yes, it is going to be the pathing up the side. Shatter. Wow, actually doesn't connect on anything. The Suzu. Very, very well timed there from Haku, but it doesn't matter because the rest of the damage is coming through. And that was the blade actually committed there from Suguru. I think it might have found one, but it is just Whiskin it pushing forward. Nice shield there. He's going to be able to get Bagel out alive. And now it's just right back up onto the high ground, getting himself set up again. That Blossom ready to go here. We've seen what Art can do with it, but also ready to go. Big wide open space. You just have to avoid the Genji deflect and the Orisa spear, and you're good to go with this Deadeye. All right, Tidal Blast goes over onto the Genji. Oh, it's straight onto Axar, who does get stunned, but actually had a really nice beat there from Bagel, so manages to stay alive through it. Is aware that the Genji is back behind them. Deadeye is ready to go here. Oh, the stun. Oh, the deflect there from Suguru, who's now gonna just put some pressure on the point. Everybody from Whiskin playing very, very far forward. All right, now I'm gonna rotate back towards the point, but Haku, Kitsune Rush ready to go. Terra Surge from Mango on the point as well. Cosmore manages to pin out, but Bagel cannot say the same. Takes a whole lot of damage. Gets finished off by Mango there. Now the Deadeye from Axar doesn't quite find anything, and with Cosmore falling, that's just no presence on the point for Whisking it. Axar trying with the Blossom, doesn't find anything except for an Orisa block, and that is it. One last kill on the Bagel is third point secured. Havana going the way of Space Jam, setting themselves at match point here, as we will be going over to push for our next point. It's going to be Esperanza, courtesy, of course, of Whiskin it, who are now on their last life. Need to find a win here, try and start up a reverse sweep against Space Jam. Gonna be Space Jam over on this Zarya and Reaper composition. Very impactful, especially because Cosmore has rolled out on the monkey. Arc Hero does find the first kill on a Haku, but yeah, that's exactly what we see and expect from the Reaper v Monkey matchup. On Zero taking down Arc as well. Not going to be able to deflect this particle beam. And there we go. First fight win. Going to be going the way of Space Jam. But again, it's just so fast. Everything just happens so fast that you're so far off of your ultimates. Light Spaghetti is very aware that Axar is lurking around somewhere on the Tracer. Oh, okay, does end up finding, but yeah, Tracer's got the moves. No problem. A little bit of a contest onto the high ground here. Cosmore doesn't want Space Jam to have this bridge for free. Axar trying to put a little bit of pressure on the Moira down here. Oh, the fade's been forced out, but Axar, I mean, finds 2 kills there. Does get punished for it, but I mean, the trades are really good here for Whiskin it as you're trying to clean up this kill on Zero. Yes, will manage to get that done. Late kill on Haku as well, who will get to that wave spawn with on Zero, so no harm there for the Lucio. As here we go, some percentage on this barrier going to be gained for Whiskin it. Gonna have the pulse bomb ready to go very shortly. Space Jam still just, yeah, not a whole lot happening in the fight, so you're still quite a ways off here. This is really big for the DPS on the side of Whiskin it. You really want to build up to these quickly and go first in the next fight so you can really build up that momentum that is so impactful on these push maps. All right, it is going to be the contest coming through for Space Jam before that lead is gained. No kills coming through, just a bit of positioning, jockeying, and there we go. Here it is. Bagel finds that boop kill onto Haku. Lucio out of the fight, and Arc has the blade ready to go as well. Maybe not going to need it as currently Whiskin it is up one, but you don't have Cosmo here. That Winston out of the fight, that's a lot of HP now gone. Axar going to pick up the kill onto Light Spaghetti, though, looking really good for Whiskin it to grab the lead here. And yes, you do lose the numbers, but you grab the lead, and now it looks like Whiskin it. Yeah, at least Axar want to just back all the way out. Coulson knows that they're not going to be able to get out alive without the Lucio speed, unfortunately. But Alts online here for Whiskin in. Now, here we go. The next one is going to be pretty darn explosive. Suguru has swapped over on Cassidy as you're lagging behind on that ultimate, but otherwise the 4 ultimate's going to be ready to go basically for the side of Space Jam. Gonna have to see what this pulse bomb from Axar can get done. It is gonna be the contest coming through just before the lead is taken. Pulse bomb is out, does a lot of damage, but doesn't find the kill. Coulson gonna find that kill though. The damage orb doing the work. Glides forget the grab. Oh my gosh. Beautiful Blossom. Beautiful grab as the team kill comes through. Space Jam picking up not only the lead, but also the forward spawn to go along with it. It was expensive though. 4 ultimate, well, 3 ultimates, and Suguru has moved over onto the Tracer. Did you have this beat ready to go from Haku, though? You're gonna love to have that for this Blade from Arc Hero that's coming online soon. Cosmore can afford to get aggressive here because not only do you have the Primal, oh no! There's no beat on the side of Space Jam. That's the Ajax coming through. Arc doesn't even need the Blade. Finds the kill on the Haku before that one comes out, and nice engagement there for the side of Whiskin, right? You see the dive in from Cosmore, knows that he has the primal if he needs it, but also has that coalescence from Coulson. It's just going to cut through all of the enemies and keep the Winston nice and healthy. Forward spawn has been removed, which actually does end up impacting on Zero. On the Zarya, it's going to be a little bit of a walk here as there we go. Forward spawn now picked up for the side of Whiskin it. It's going to be a pretty aggressive contest coming through here. Everybody from the side of Space Jam just dropping out of the window, and it pays off for them as they find that kill onto Bagel. All right, the Blade is going to come out. There's no support to try and keep this Genji alive, but hey, there is a Primal to show as well as that's a lot of kills coming through, and despite, not having either of their healers alive, the team kill comes through for the side of Whiskin it. And they're going to go ahead and pick up the lead here. They do, of course, have that forward spawn as well. So Bagel and Coulson back into the fight very quickly here as On Zero is going to swap over onto the Diva. Try and deny some of this value from Axar on the Tracer, I assume. Not going to be defense matrixing a whole lot else from this team. Dash in, Arc finds that kill onto Suguru, but Cosmore got a little bit too aggressive for this Moira Lucio backline to sustain through as the trades come through. It is going to be Space Jam with the spawn advantage. So if you can just stay alive long enough, you will be able to kind of come out and fight on top here. Gonna find the kills to go along with it as Arc on this Genji just dying on the bot. There we go. Cleaned up by Space Jam. Another Death Blossom ready to go here from Light Spaghetti. And a coalescence from Evolution as well. So On Zero has the opportunity to basically do what Cosmore did a couple of fights ago. Just go in super aggressive. You have the coalescence to kind of keep you alive through it. And you're going to have the bomb as well from Zero very shortly as well. So you use that kind of at the end if you're going to end up getting demeched. Forward spawn removed from Whiskin it. Space Jam really just walking away with this bot right now. There needs to be a contest that comes through. Okay, there it is. Coalescence committed here from Evolution. Gonna help do a lot of damage, but actually Arc Hero's gonna shut down that Coalescence as it's an even numbers here. But Haku really turning things into the favor of Space Jam. Has the beat ready to go. Does not go for a second Ajax. He's gonna end up falling there. But it's okay because it is Space Jam that grabs control of this bot. Approaching this lead line, but it's going to be a contest that's available here from Whiskin it. Okay, bomb straight up into the air. Doesn't quite find anything, but manages to stay alive. So we'll get the remake, and in the meantime, Suguru finding perhaps Axar that's kind of pushed out from that pulse bomb. Both support ultimates have been committed from the side of Whiskin it, but it's not enough to keep them alive through both DPS ultimates being committed from the side of Space Jam. And there we go. Lead has been gained by Space Jam. Now, though, both DPS ultimates on the side of Whisking it ready to go. Haku only has 1 beat, so you probably want to use it for the Blade. Axar would love to maybe try and find a pulse bomb kill with that Suguru. Just absolute slaughter of damage onto Cosmo. Between the Cassidy and the Reaper, Cosmore's having a really, really hard time on this Winston, and On Zero on the Diva as well. A really nice swap off of that Zarya. Pulse Bomb connects onto the Diva. Nice little flyaway there from On Zero to keep their team alive. There is the blade. There is the beat. Beat finds all 5. And of course, Haku does have that perk that's going to allow everybody that gets hit with this beat to also have amp ready. So a lot of speed coming through. Gonna go ahead and amp that one as well. Evolution with a 2K coalescence. Some trades coming through. Here's another bomb ready to go here from On Zero. This one also not finding anything, but will get the squish onto Oxar. Finds the cleanup kill as well, and it is not looking very good here if you're a Whiskin It fan. Not quite in overtime, but between Evolution and On Zero, just absolutely ripping Whiskin It apart. They do get the DMAC here. Cosmore going to help stabilize here for Whiskin It, and by just the skin of their teeth, they managed to hold on before that bot is captured. But it's going to be a long walk back, not only to that checkpoint, to try and push their own bot barrier all the way towards the enemy spawn. See what they can get done, though. XR building up the Pulse Bomb. You'll have the Coalescence as well. Looks like Space Jam actually want to take control of the bridge on Whiskin It's side, and I mean, it's working out pretty well here. It is going to be Cosmore getting demacked, and Bagel falls as well. That beat was nearly online for Bagel. The bot has been walked at least all the way so that Whiskin It is going to get the forward spawns. Arc falls late, though. Now the bot walking back. Arc will get that forward spawn, but forward spawn for the side of Whiskin It is going to be taken away very, very quickly. And look at all these ultimates that are going to be coming online for this next fight. Both coalescences. And Bagel is going to have the beat advantage, which could be really, really helpful against this Blossom. Well, okay, there's the Blossom. Unfortunately, Cosmore not going to have enough defense matrix to avoid that. And it is the DMAC that comes through and then immediately killed by Suguru, and no tank on the side of Whiskin It. No control of the bot. Okay, it is going to be Arc. The deflect doesn't quite last long enough. Good patience there, Suguru. Overtime is gone, and that is it. Space Jam picking up their 4th map win, and they are going to be claiming that Tier 2 mixed grand finals in a pretty clean 4-0 fashion. But good fight. Good fight, yeah, from Whiskin It, and I mean, we could do some MVPs, might as well. I think definitely for the side of Space Jam. I see everybody played so many different heroes and so many different roles, but I think that Light Spaghetti on the Reaper did a pretty darn good job. We saw a whole lot of multi-kill Death Blossoms, which honestly can be sometimes really, really hard to get value from. There's so much CC in this game and so much like defense matrix in this game as well from the Diva, and still openings were being found. So for the side of Space Jam, it's going to be Light Spaghetti on the Reaper specifically. And then on the side of Whiskin It, again, a team, these players all made some swaps kind of on different roles and whatnot, but I am going to give it to Coulson for the Orisa gameplay that we got to see at the beginning. So we saw Coulson on the Moira at the end here, but I think that the Orisa from Coulson was doing really, really good work earlier in the series. Nice play from everybody on the side of Whiskin. Unfortunately, they don't get the win, but I do hope that we get to see them here next season, whenever that is. That is going to be it from us here, though. Thank you to everybody that either tuned in or are maybe watching the VOD of this, because it was a bit of a little surprise that we got to cast and stream this match. But we will see you next time. Thank you once again to everybody. This has been Rain casting. I have